NFC North, Deshaun, what most describe as the most competitive division in the NFL. Last year, Detroit won it at 15-2, Minnesota right behind them at 14-3, Packers at 11-6, and the Bears at 5-12. Who do you have winning this division, and are there any wild card spots you got?
Yes and yes. So I have the Chicago Bears winning this division. I love the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears. More importantly, I love Caleb Williams. I'm a Caleb Williams fan. I
Caleb
think he's
and Lamar.
amazing.
You love him. You love him. There's something about him. They hit a soft spot for you.
They really do. I think that they are so talented on the offensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball is taking steps in the right direction. I am super excited to see what Caleb Williams is able to do in a Ben Johnson-led offense, because I think that's been something that's been holding a lot of young quarterbacks back, is the play calling. So now you have one of the league's premier play callers as your head coach. I'm excited because we've seen what he was able to do with Jared Goff, and I don't think I'll get any arguments here, but Caleb Williams is far more talented. I'm not saying a better player yet, but he's far more talented than Jared Goff. And I like DJ Moore. I like Luther Burden, Rome. Like, they have playmakers. I'm not a fan of DeAndre Swift the most, but he's serviceable. He's a serviceable running back.
For this argument, he's serviceable.
Yes, he's serviceable. I love what they have going. And I don't know if this division will be as good as people are hyping up to be. I understand that it's been a good division. In my wild card spot, I have the Detroit Lions, and I am giving this off of the strength that 99% of their defense was hurt last year, and not even just hurt, they were on IR, and there was a point last year where they were having guys on practice squad just line up and play. It was very emergency last resort. So I think having some of those guys back, like a Hutchinson, I think that will be a boost that they will need. But because they are losing such a creative play caller in Ben Johnson, I'm going to assume there's going to be a step back on the explosiveness of that offense. And I think there will be a few growing pains with having the expectations of being in a Super Bowl, losing a home playoff game, and then essentially having to start over again with a brand new offense. But I think that team is just far too talented to at least not make the playoffs.
So I agree with you about the Lions, and I'll get into that because they are a wild card team. But I am shocked that you have the Bears winning the division. Listen, I find it hard to rank this division because I'm rooting for Chicago. If they made the playoffs, I wouldn't be against it. I don't have them in the picture, but they could edge out somebody like the Niners.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They are a better team than the Niners.
Yes, I agree. And the thing with the Niners is their schedule. That's the only thing that I'm sold on. The Bears, I think, are structured better, and I believe in Ben Johnson. The Minnesota Vikings are winning the NFC North, Deshaun. Yes, they are. And here's the thing.
That is a terrible pick. Go on.
The only issue I ever hear with Minnesota is JJ. Oh, I'm concerned about JJ. I don't know what JJ is going to look like. And I will give you the fact that their secondary, sure, it might be a little concerning. They got a lot of new faces over there. They had 24 interceptions last year. Real good. 33 turnovers as a defense. But JJ, Deshaun, believe in JJ McCarthy for me. Because everyone that's saying they don't believe in JJ said the same thing about Sam Darnold. And he walked in and won 14 games for this offense with Justin Jefferson, with Jordan Addison, with Jalen Naylor, TJ Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. Darnold. Now they have Jordan Mason. JJ McCarthy was the starter before Sam Darnold, and you don't believe in Kevin O'Connell to set up the offense? So JJ has just an average season and takes them to a 12-win season and makes the playoffs?
First of all,
I'm not buying it.
First of all,
I'm not buying it.
Okay, Actually, no. First and foremost, okay? I understand.
Why don't you believe in JJ? What's
No.
the missing factor here?
I understand that Jackson is our quarterback, but you do not have to pick the Vikings, okay? You do not have to do this. The reason why I do not have JJ, like I do not have any faith in him, is because for the entirety of his college career, he took the ball under center and then handed the ball off. Okay? So why am I supposed to believe that he's going to be the guy to go and lead this offense to success? Now you bring up Sam Darnold, okay? Sam Darnold was a great quarterback prospect. Like as just a quarterback, just being able to go and lead a team, okay? He didn't obviously win as much as JJ, but he was a better prospect coming out of college. The Jets ruined him. But he had experience in multiple NFL offenses. So he had experience in New York, in Carolina, and then obviously with the Vikings.
And San Francisco.
And San Francisco. He's not just going to be expected like to go and do this in his second year, because I don't know if Sam Darnold will be able to do that in his second year. But this is JJ's first year, and not only is it his first year, it's his first year off of injury. So any type of hesitation that he would have as a rookie, he's about to have that tenfold off of an injury. And now there's also this expectation that he's supposed to win the division. And then compounding that, you have Justin Jefferson having a lingering hamstring issue. So now what happens if Justin Jefferson is out a week or two? But
completely legit. That's legit.
But this is my legitimate issue with the Vikings that so many people are just overlooking. The issue with having a dominant wide receiver one with a rookie is that they're within like the rookie, they're going to feel that they need to feed him, because Justin Jefferson is going to say, throw me the ball. JJ might have to have a read where it's not at Justin Jefferson, and then now they're going off on the sidelines and JJ is getting reamed out. So now the next time that they're out there on offense, he's forcing him the ball. What happens? Pick six. I'm telling you, this is going to be a recipe for disaster, and we're going to look back at this when the playoffs start, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win under 6 games.
That is unreal. That is unreal. I was saving to call you pathetic until we got to the Pats-Bills division, but this is unreal, Deshaun. He's an incredible intermediate passer. The only flaws I saw in his game was the deep ball. And I think that Kevin O'Connell can coach that up. He outright won the job against Sam Darnold last year, and he's walking into a phenomenal situation. Now, I agree.
He won the job from
first few weeks.
From a career backup. He won the job from a career backup.
But look what the career backup did. 14 wins. And I agree. JJ, Jordan Addison, the season might start slow. And that's where you will have all your pride. You'll come on the podcast. You'll celebrate. That's fine. I'll buy you a little hat from Party Stuff. It'll be phenomenal. But to end the season, Brian Flores will do wonders for JJ on defense. He'll help him out. Defense looks great. They're putting pressure on the quarterback. If the secondary steps up, JJ McCarthy has a great season. You got to believe. Detroit Lions, I agree with you. Detroit is on the downfall. But I'm not buying that they don't make the playoffs.
They're too talented not to.
Yes, I think they're way too talented. The offense, Jared Goff, Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown, J-Mo. The list goes on and on. Isaac Tesla, who's a dog. We saw him in the preseason ball out. Defense. Last year, the Lions were Super Bowl favorites until they had so many injuries. I truly believe they would have gone toe-to-toe with Philly in the conference championship game had they had everyone healthy for the entire season. Long story short, it's over. Aaron Glenn's gone now. Ben Johnson's gone now. New coordinators. Might be a new story there. Obviously, some new faces. Different setting, but I still think they're too talented to miss the playoffs. The Bears, like I said, I believe in them. I believe in Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. The thing I caution, not you, obviously, Deshaun, but just the public, is if they do go 8-9 this year and they miss the playoffs, which is possible for sure, we cannot look at Caleb and say that it's over, that this was a 2-year stint and we need to give up on him because he's failed. That's
I
what the
promise you it's not gonna
expectation
happen.
is.
We
I
don't even have
understand.
we don't even have to entertain this, Johnny. I'm telling you, we do not have to entertain this because I promise you, and I get what you're saying. You don't want people to go and jump the gun on Caleb Williams, which they will, but I'm telling you it will not happen. But I have a question for you. Why do you have so much faith in JJ and that offense, that team, and not Caleb Williams and the Bears?
I do have elite faith in the Bears. I'm saying I think that they could.
No, but you have one team winning the division, and then you have the other team not making the playoffs. So
For sure.
So clearly there's a difference.
Absolutely. So the Bears I have right now at 8-9, and the Vikings I have at 12-5. So it's a 3-win difference. I do think Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams will go through a few growing pains to start the season. And I don't think that the weapons in Chicago are equivalent to the weapons in Minnesota. And I do think Minnesota's offensive line is better than Chicago's, and the defenses are pretty comparable. Well, obviously, it could be close. We can't write it off. I'm not writing it off as...
I cannot wait until we come back.
I'm not writing it off as I don't have faith in the Bears. They could win 10 games and make the playoffs. I just think it's a really competitive division, and it's going to be hard to make it through. The one team we haven't talked about is the Packers, Shawn. I'm not really buying the hype. I like Micah. I like the offense. I like Jordan Love. There's a lot of stuff that I like. It's just I don't automatically think Micah makes the Packers contenders. Like, I don't think Micah makes Green Bay a Super Bowl team. I just don't. He's one piece to a defense, and obviously he's important, but you still need the offense to produce. You still need Jordan Love to take care of the ball, to not have big-time turnovers when it matters. And I just don't understand why people are jumping to a conclusion that they're automatically a Super Bowl contender now. They still have secondary issues. They still don't have a proven number one receiver, too. I know they drafted Golden, but, again, we need to see it with our own eyes first.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think fans here, we got Micah Parsons, now we have a good defense. That's not how it works because it's just, again, like you said, it's just one player. And I'm not going to feed into the narrative fully, but there is a growing theme of Micah Parsons not playing big in big games. And so I think for Green Bay to have success, Micah is going to need to show up in games against like the Lions, against like the Vikings, against Chicago. He's going to need to show up, and not just show up in the first quarter. He's going to need to show up in a pivotal moments in that game. But as much is going to be placed on Micah Parsons, it's all, at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to Jordan Love and that offense. And I'm not a fan of Jordan Love. I think he's average, above average. I think he's okay. And the fact that they still don't have like that true wide receiver one, though I do believe it will be Matthew Golden, I just think there's just too much left unanswered for me to believe in them to be a playoff team.
And they just didn't fare well last year against playoff teams. They beat the Texans, and the Rams, when they beat them, they were banged up, and they lost all their games. I think they went 1-5 or like 0-6 in the division last year. Again, I just don't think that they're a team that goes out there and consistently wins big-time games. That's why I have them out of the playoffs. But again, any team in this division could crack the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised.